Intra-African trade makes up just 15% of total exports compared to over 60% in Europe and Asia. This according to former Senior Vice President of the African Development Bank, Madame Swazi Chabalala, is not a failure of ambition, but rather a failure of connectivity.
My focus is encapsulated in the vision that I have, shared with the governors, which is called Lift Africa. And Lift Africa is really about saying that the African Development Bank should use its resources and its convening power to drive and accelerate the development of integrated infrastructure in Africa. So this is from making sure that all Africans are connected to electricity and they have a steady and reliable supply of electricity. It's making sure that Africans have access to the internet. We still have the lowest internet connectivity, for instance, because while we have a lot of, fiber, which is laid around the continent, which connects us very well to the rest of the world, we don't have digital connectivity within the continent. So we need to, accelerate the building of that digital connectivity. So really the LI in Lift Africa is about that basic infrastructure, which is at the core of driving improved productivity in Africa. The F in Lift Africa is about financial innovation. We know, for instance, that the United States recently announced that it may not fund the African Development Bank anymore. We know that USAID, which has, provided funds for important initiatives in Africa, has now been shut down. So increasingly, we see the problem that the traditional donors no longer have the capacity to continue providing funds to Africa. So we need to be able to use our convening power, our capacity, to be able to mobilize the private sector to help with the financing of infrastructure, as an example. So this is an important aspect of this. We have to work in partnerships, and we also have to make sure that the private sector in Africa, we accelerate its development. And then the final letter in Lift Africa, which is T, is really about transforming the MDB, the African Development Bank, to make sure that it is able to, execute its programs and its mandate with speed, urgency, and efficiency.